Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the up.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Going back to Khabib and Conor, it's crazy, man. It's, what is it, 3 weeks? 2 weeks on Saturday?
It is pretty fucking crazy how quickly this fight is coming up. How many weeks is that?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks on Saturday, so we're under 3 weeks now, which is, it's fast approaching. I'll be there in Vegas covering it for Fox, so that'll be good. That's always fun. I do enjoy that. It is nice to go to the arena and do the Fox work. Of course, tickets, I believe they're sold out. Dana White came on UFC Tonight or somewhere and said that Dana himself is even buying his own ticket, which is just a code for don't ask me for any fucking tickets, okay? Yeah. Fair enough. But come on, if you want us to believe you, don't say you're buying your own ticket, because I guarantee, I don't know, maybe he did just for, maybe he got a little kick out of it. Oh, let's go to Ticketmaster and buy tickets.
It's a political move, too.
There's my stub.
He gets to be a man of the people. It's like when Mayor Bloomberg used to take the subway to work because he wanted to be like, oh, look, I'm one of you. It's like, all right, come on, fuck off, fuck face.
I'm buying my own tickets. Yeah. So it's crazy. All right.
I'm excited. Did you see the training video of Conor McGregor? He put it on Instagram, I believe. If you haven't seen it, maybe you could pull it up, Harrington. And it's just a montage.
Yeah, pull it up.
Just a montage
of training. I did see it. He looked very good. Of course, you're not going to put clips on where you look very bad. That's just the way it goes. Conor's great. What can you say? I mean, you can't really knock his fighting style. I mean, does he get a little tired as fights progress? Yes, everybody does, but Conor has a problem there. Is he the best grappler in the world? No. Is he a decent grappler? Yes. His strengths are an explosive knockout striker, and he does that very, very well. He brings a lot of excitement. He does. I mean, you can't knock the guy. He brings the excitement. He's probably the most exciting fighter in the UFC. When you combine that with all the press, all the shenanigans, everything else that goes with it, you got to see it. You got to watch it. And that's why this pay-per-view will be through the fucking roof, and the fight will be epic. I just don't know what's going to happen. The UFC released a free fight on YouTube recently. Khabib versus Michael Johnson. And I was watching that at the weekend. And Khabib, he gets hit a lot in that fight. Michael Johnson, southpaw, tall for the weight, striker, very fast hands, much like Conor McGregor, and he gets caught a lot in that first round. Now, of course, Khabib gets him down, has his way with him, beats the living shit out of him, and then Kimuras him, all while talking to Dana White and talking shit to Michael Johnson. So it was a very impressive performance. The point of all that is to say, though, Khabib gets caught at the start of fights. He does. He's kind of a slow starter. And as we've seen with Conor McGregor, a lot of the time people don't make it out of those first few shots, Yeah.
It is going to be a super interesting fight to watch. I still think Khabib's going to win. I typically, when I don't know, when there's a big question mark there where you're not like, oh, this guy's definitely the fucking clear favorite, whatever. I always just kind of lean toward the guy who has better grappling. I just feel like the UFC throughout the years has sort of, or not necessarily just the better grappling, but the better wrestling in general. I lean toward that guy. And also an undefeated fighter. Khabib's never been beaten. He's never tasted defeat. We've never seen that formula before. And we have seen Conor McGregor lose specifically to a guy who was able to weather the storm and then take him down and submit him. So, yeah, I think the blueprint's there. Yep. I don't know. I'm not picking Khabib necessarily. It's not like if a gun was to my head right now, it'd be a hard choice right now. But I'm just kind of leading toward Khabib. But I completely understand. Look, I always weirdly just don't want to go with the crowd. And obviously everyone wants Conor to win for the most part. So I think maybe there's a part of me just trying to be the rebel,
I think when you look at the fact, as you said, that's a good point. He's never tasted defeat. He's never lost. So that tells me Khabib has a chin. Because he's fought plenty of guys that can hit hard, and he hasn't been knocked out. Al Iaquinta, his last fight, Al connected with Khabib. There's another thing people are pointing to, saying, oh, Iaquinta was able to connect. Al Iaquinta knocks people the fuck out. Al Iaquinta is a real fighter, He's legit. He's a force to be reckoned with. And that, again, highlighted how good Khabib was, because he kind of abandoned the wrestling in that fight, mainly because Al was able to stop the takedowns a lot of the time. And just Khabib went to his jab, and just jabbed Al Iaquinta's head off. I don't know. It's a tricky one. The thing that concerns me, if I'm pro McGregor, if I'm looking for McGregor to win that fight, the thing that concerns me, and maybe McGregor just hasn't put this on social media for obvious reasons, is that when I look at his social media and then his coach, John Kavanagh, when you look at his social media and you look at what's happening in the gym, you don't see a lot of big, hardcore wrestlers that they've brought in specifically for this training camp, right? They haven't. I'm not seeing that. I don't see a lot of jiu-jitsu experts. I don't see Dylan Dennis in there. I don't see these Russians that they've brought in. Now, as I say, they might have brought in some Bulgarians or some Russians or some American wrestlers, but I don't see it. Generally, you would see it, and I don't see any reference to any of that. If he hasn't done that, he's going to have some problems.
If you did pull up the video of Conor training, I think Dylan Dennis was in a few of the shots of it. It was very quick, though.
Oh, he was.
And maybe that's also part of the strategy, which is not to give away too much. I don't know. I mean, you see these countdown
that
shows
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Look, no, not in terms of training partners. In terms of what you're working on, yeah, sure, you don't want that to be out there. You don't want that to be out there for the world to see, more importantly, your opponent to see what you're working on, specifically how you escape certain techniques. If you, like, for example, we have it all the time when countdown shows come and film, right? A lot of fighters, they'll say, right, okay, you can film us warming up or you can film that, but then that's it. You can't have any footage. I always said, fuck it, I don't care. You know what I mean? They're not going to learn that much from watching 30 seconds on a countdown show as opposed to watching how I fought for the last 20 years of my life. You know what I mean? All that footage is out there, but you're worried about what they're going to see on a 30-second segment on the countdown show. If you're that insecure, then maybe you're going to lose this fight anyway.
Well, maybe if you have an injury or something you're trying to hide as well. So that could be...
Well, yeah.
I'm assuming if you did have an injury and you were training differently because of that, you might say, hey, you know what? I don't want fucking cameras in here right now. You had mentioned that with the GSP fight. You told the story on here, right?
But in terms of working out with certain training partners,
right?
You'd want to flaunt that a little bit. You'd want to say, hey, look, listen, motherfucker, I've brought in all these top Russian wrestlers, American wrestlers, Bulgarians, whatever, you name it, I've brought them in. They can't take me down for shit, because that's warfare. That's psychological warfare. That's saying to your opponent, hey, I brought in better wrestlers than you, mate, and they can't take me down. So what are you going to do? And I don't see that. So maybe I'm wrong. As I said, I haven't obsessed over Conor McGregor's fucking Instagram page. I'm not 12 years old. But from what I have seen, I haven't seen a lot of wrestling action going on. And sometimes you can be a victim of your own ego in those situations. Maybe because Conor hasn't really fought these big wrestlers like that, and if he hasn't addressed that, then maybe he's going to have a problem. That said, he's a smart fighter. His coach is a smart guy. They understand the game. So I'd be very, very surprised if they haven't brought in some wrestlers, especially when you consider the budget that Conor McGregor has. He's got a budget in MMA that no other fighter has. He can fly in 10 fucking wrestlers at the click of a finger, put them up in 5-star hotels, and have them very, very happy. If he hasn't done that, I'd be very surprised.
All right, let's we have some questions to get to in a little bit, but we do have this weekend, it's Sao Paulo, Brazil, Santos versus Anders. I mean, let's see.
Okay. So I take it that was a shut the fuck up.
No, but that was a great reaction
about McGregor. Yeah, I know, but it's like you stopped me in my flow of spouting greatness. If I do say so myself on how he's going to prepare, and you go, all right, this weekend in Sao Paulo we have Eric Anders taking on Thiago Santos, and I'm like, all right, on multiple levels that's shut the fuck up, that's B, you're boring me, C, I don't give a fuck. I mean, listen, that'll actually be a very good fight. It was supposed to be Jimmy Manuwa. Yeah. See the professional I am, Lewis? I'm rolling with the flow. I'm going with the flow.
I was just testing you. I wanted to make sure you knew what was going on.
Well, being the MMA fan, the MMA powerhouse of knowledge that I am, I do know that it was supposed to be Jimmy Manuwa taking on Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira got injured, which forced Thiago Santos into the fold, facing Jimmy Manuwa. Unfortunately, Jimmy Manuwa tore his hamstring upon arrival in Sao Paulo when he went for a run. Eric Anders has stepped up into the situation and is now Eric Anders taking on Thiago Santos, two big, powerful strikers at 205 pounds. Does that fulfill your requirements? Do I pass the test of knowing what's going on?
Shannon? Take that, motherfuckers.
Big up.
Take that.
Big up. Random. I didn't even know we were going there. Didn't even know we were
That's
going
just off
there.
the fucking dome piece, doggy.
And just like that. Fuck.
Let's see.
It's incredible.
Let's see. How much does
really
Michael Bisping have his finger on the pulse of what's going on with the world of mixed martial arts? Let's see.
Test.
Okay, test.
1, 2.
Ready? Let's see.
And even though, hey, hold on. Even though I'm staring into a computer and I could Google this at any time, I won't because my hands are here. You see my hands.
Somebody's belt has gone missing in Moscow. Who was it?
Well, so here's the thing. Henry Cejudo was flying to Moscow and he lost his belt. Now, here's the thing. It seems to be a current trend with Henry Cejudo. He lost his Olympic gold medal in the Northern California fires. Now he flies out to Moscow and he loses his belt. The UFC, they were very good. They took him shopping. They bought him some new clothes, but he's yet to receive his belt. Will the belt show up? Will the bags be found? It's quite the cliffhanger. We don't know. But one thing I would recommend, Henry Cejudo, is that if you want that bag to be found and your belt to still be in it, stop telling the world that it holds your UFC tiny weight belt, because otherwise it won't be in there when you get to it. You know what I mean? We got to do a new segment on the show called Count on That, and it's where you give advice to UFC fighters. I like this. I like this. Ask me one more. Test me once more.
No, I'm going to. God. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now.
My word. I mean, it's almost sad, is what it is.
Okay, ready? All right, let's see. Next one. Let's see. What's big news here? Okay, John Jones was photographed looking nice and bulked up, standing across another fighter who's also pretty jacked up. Who was that fighter? Oh, shit. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're going to the vault on this one. I mean, oh, God. I mean, hold on. It wasn't John Jones at like the Body Power Expo and Anthony Rumble Johnson was walking by him. I said, hey, yo, what's up? Let's get together. Let's have a picture. And he caught up. He talked about old times. He talked about the possibility of them fighting. They squared up for the fans. They had a little shot. It was all in good nature, though. It was all fun. You know, yo, bow, 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 bow. Okay, this is obnoxious. Oh, God. I like it, though. I like it. I like it. Look, you got your finger on the fucking pulse, doggy, and I appreciate that. This is why... It's what I do. It's what you do. It's what I do. Bro.